Post 2005 is when the foreign companies were free to enter this market because their product patents were respected and people could not reverse engineer their drugs. It was not that the foreign companies like the Pfizers and Glaxos and Eli Lilly's were not present in India before 2005, but they were not introducing the new drugs in the Indian market. What they would do is they would only introduce patent expired drugs or only generic drugs in the Indian market and not introduce blockbuster drugs, not introduce patented drugs. Post 2005, they got that confidence that they could introduce patented drugs in the Indian market. It also marked the transition of the Indian healthcare industry from being totally disorganized, a network of polyclinics or private with the fledgling public sector, public health system, to a lot of corporate investments in healthcare. You had a lot of chains of hospitals coming in, branded hospitals coming in, and that coincided with the interest of foreign pharmaceutical companies coming into India, and there was a huge surge on healthcare spends by the Indian public as well as by the Indian pharmaceutical and healthcare industry. As the Indian market moved away from process patents to product patents, the firms in the Indian market responded in two ways. There were one set of firms who decided to actively acquire capabilities to do research, to create new drugs, and therefore they started investing a lot in new drug development capabilities. And in trying to develop new drug capabilities, they spent a lot of investments. Both investments within the country and investments outside the country. Because the gestation periods of development of drugs are very high, it was actually a very lucrative opportunity to actually acquire drugs. In any case, with these protected process patented markets, they had excess capital, excess cash available, capital was adequate, and therefore they could actually go outside and acquire companies in the Western market to acquire research capabilities. The second set of Indian companies did not either have the capabilities to go into research and development, or who did not think they were capable of doing it, who did not invest sufficiently in developing research capabilities. These were companies who were stuck as manufacturing intermediaries. Some of these companies continue today as just pure manufacturing organizations. They just run their facilities for a variety of companies, and some of them have been able to move away from just manufacturing abilities to doing contract research. The three drivers that moved the Western markets into generics. One was the increasing healthcare costs. As the healthcare costs continue increasing, the governments, insurance companies, and the consumers themselves wanted to reduce their costs, and they wanted to move towards more and more generics, especially within the health maintenance organizations. The franchises are made at a larger level, at a physician level or at the matrons level, and brands don't matter. Cost matters there. As the health maintenance organizations increased, consumer bargaining power increased, and they would buy in large quantities. They would not buy in small quantities, they would buy in large quantities, and they would bargain with the pharmaceutical companies for low price drugs. A third thing that was happening was a growing policy in the Western world to make healthcare available to everyone, the inclusivity of healthcare. The governments actively promoted low-cost drugs in the public health systems. So that again led to a huge opportunity for generics. This expanded generics opportunity was a great opportunity for companies from developing countries, including those from India, and more so for Indian companies, because they had been long very good at manufacturing generics. They had excellent manufacturing capabilities, they had low cost manpower, they had low cost manufacturing facilities, they had very high process efficiencies, because somebody who could do reverse engineering can do very good process efficiency, and they had economies of scale. They've been pushed out of the Indian market because of product patents, and they found a great opportunity outside in the Western markets to sell generics. And there are all these companies who are looking at internationalizing to acquire research capabilities, also found this generic opportunity to be a great opportunity to earn money. Generics provided them cash for investments in research. Generics provided them entry into the markets to enhance their credibility. If I had to enter a Western European country and seek capital to do research, I would need a credibility. I would need a brand. I have to overcome the liability of my origin from an emerging economy. To do that, I had to develop presence in those markets, and generics provided an opportunity to enter those Western markets. So these companies, your Ranbaxys and Wookharts and DRLs and Ciplas, went outside, set up facilities, set up manufacturing facilities, set up distribution systems, either through their own greenfield ventures or joint ventures, or they went and acquired distribution marketing companies in those markets. And in that acquisition, the variety of deals that have happened, some of them have been very good at going and acquiring distribution companies and therefore expand their presence in multiple markets.